The first Wheel of Fortune is here in Call of Dragons, and the big question is, should you unlock Kinnara or not, and is it worth spending on this wheel? Hey everyone, I'm Zoras, Not Casuals, and today we're going to go over the big question of, is Kinnara worth it in Call of Dragons? Now, of course, this is the first wheel to have appeared in the game so far on the official servers, so of course she is going to be quite expensive to unlock. You will have to spin this wheel. This wheel is quite high value actually, especially in the beginning of the game. Everything here is pretty strong. You're getting like a few million of every resources and a million of the mana, which is very hard to get. This is going to give you 10 sculpture instead of 8, like in Rise of Kingdoms, so it is quite worth it. And you can also get one of her sculpture, as well as quite a lot of speed up, 15 hours of speed up here, another 15 hours of speed up, sculpture for anyone, and then 2 of these medals. And here you can see that after 50 spin, you get a premium reward, basically meaning that you're going to get this reward, 10 of her sculpture, every time you do 50 spin. Now you can do 200 of these spins total, and you also will get some extra rewards here. When you do 10 spin, you're going to get 5 of her token, 25 spin, you're going to get 5 extra token and some resources, and so on. You get 10 more token of here, and then 10 more custom token, and 100 here, you're going to get 15 tokens. So you can get quite a lot of her tokens total if you spin 100 times, but this is obviously a very pay-to-win event, as you will need to purchase in the store a bundle here, as you can see, that will allow you to get some of the goblin vouchers. You can purchase this as well with gem. They are 700 each, and there is no discount of any kind. So, you know, if you're going to be spending, let's say, like 100, like this is the maximum, 70,000 gems is quite extreme. Now, my recommendation is to maybe unlock her, which is a pretty good thing to do, because once you unlock her, you can go in your VIP shop and specify her as your daily sculpture. Once you're past VIP 708, I think you get a free legendary sculpture every day. So you could get her very slowly, but unlocking her allows you to do that. As well as, I would also say, if you have enough to do 10 spins, most chances are that you're going to be able to get enough sculpture to unlock her, 10, maybe 15 spins. You're going to get 5 token here, and then you only need to get, 5 of her token here at least, or, if you get this, if you're lucky and you get one of these, you're going to get her for sure. So once you're ready, of course, you can spin. I'm going to try and unlock her. I only got 15 of these actually, and then I'm going to just try and unlock her. Another strategy could be that you get her 5-1-1-1, because that is going to be quite solid. Of course, she is going to be quite usable in that way, even though she won't be expertise or anything like that. It is going to be basically the bare minimum that you need. Now, I already got 2 of her sculpture plus 1. This is actually a very, very powerful roll. 3 basically legendary sculptures for 5 spin is insane value. My only hope is to get 5 of her through 15 spin, and then get the 5 other ones from the reward. But I'll probably go up to 25 spin if I need her, because I just want to unlock her so that I can unlock the possibility of getting more sculptures of her in the future. Okay, so this is another pretty good spin, but I'm not getting her sculpture. I'm getting just custom tokens, which is very high value, but not exactly what I want. So let's see what we can do with the last 5 spins here. So as of now, I have gotten only enough sculptures to get her, only like 7 of them so far. So I'm going to need to purchase probably, I'm going to do like 10 of them, because I want to get, to the 25 here. This is 5 more sculpture, so it is also very worth it. It's usually what I do on wheels that I don't want the commander. I only get the one that I need to unlock her, and then 25 is a pretty good deal, because you're getting 5 sculpture extra for other heroes that you need in the future as well. Okay, so I got 1 more of her, so now I only need to get, I think, 2 more. So let's see if we can get lucky. So far I haven't gotten a 10 piece, one of her full commanders, so not the best luck, but again, I've gotten a lot of sculpture, so I can't really complain here. And there we go. Now I officially have enough to unlock her, and I'm getting another sculpture. This is actually a pretty good value. I have to say, like, I'm getting a lot of sculpture. Look at this. This is actually pretty incredible roll. So now I get this reward. I press it, then I get 5 more sculptures. So in total, for 27 spins, I've gotten like more than 25 sculptures. So actually is quite an incredible value to do it this way. So now I can summon her. I got 11 of her sculptures total, so perfect. And here we go. We got her. Now, of course, I don't have enough to get her skill anywhere. I didn't get enough of these sculptures. I would need to spin it quite a lot more to get her 5-1-1-1. But at this moment, I am happy with the way she is, because I am not a marksman player, really. It's not going to be what I focus on. But let's go over her abilities here a little bit more. So like I said earlier, she is amazing in PvP. This 1400 damage is quite high of a damage factor, especially considering that she brings a debuff on top of that, decreasing the damage enemies deal by 15% total. So this is insane. 15% just damage dealt. It's not defense or attack, it's purely all the damage they do. She is going to be a must in the game to bring in your pack. If you're going to be using any kind of marksman, she is really going to be incredible. And of course, this is going to be what you max. You're going to make sure that this is level like 5 before you do anything with any of these abilities. Now, this is also quite strong. She is basically going to buff the damage that your troops do, the white damage, the normal attack damage. This is quite powerful because 20% of that is quite high of a percentage, as well as taking up to 10% less hero skill damage for herself and her troops is, you know, it's not insane, but 10% is quite high number because a lot of skill damage in this game is going to be AoE, and this was going to count for that. Now, of course, this is a pretty straightforward buff, but again, physical attack bonus. Again, this is also buffing her normal attack damage, so your troops are going to do a lot of damage, and marksmen are very strong against mages especially, so this is going to be something very, very strong because mages are going to be plentiful in the field. Many people are going to be playing mage because it is pretty much the easiest with the best available heroes from the get-go. Lastly, this is going to be basically increasing her counter-attack damage, meaning that anybody who attacks her will take a lot of damage back, which is again very, very strong because if people are attacking you in range with mages, this is going to hit them back in the face and kill them faster than killing you, to be honest, as well as making their movement speed reduce, meaning that you will really not be able to run away from her ever. Like, it's going to be very hard. Now, there are going to be 2 ways to play her, in my opinion. You can make her like marksman and PvP, meaning that you are going to be like attacking, doing a lot of damage, and doing a lot of chasing. Or for people who are going to be playing her 5-1-1-1 instead of being, you know, investing in her and leveling everything up, control is probably one of the best trees, because the thing with the control tree is that it brings a lot of debuffs. This one silences enemies. It is insane. Silence is one of the strongest high value thing you can get in this game, as well as this one dispels buff from enemies. Now, the thing with the control tree is that whether you've spent $0 or $10,000 in the game, these effects are just as strong, meaning that you will always silence the same, and you'll always debuff the same, and you'll always slow their movement speed the same, even if you haven't spent a dime in the game. Now, this is where the real value comes, because you are going to be free to play and playing her just as a 5-1-1-1, which is still going to cost you a little bit of investment in gems and stuff to get there, but it's going to be a lot easier to get to 5-1-1-1 than anything else as a free to play. You're going to have a huge value from the control tree. Now, the control tree is good for people who are not free to play as well. Everything here is amazing, but it is better for free to play or low spenders to focus on stuff like this, where their impact is humongous for a very low amount of money spent, as opposed to impact here, which is going to be the marksman, where you're going to do more percentage damage. You're going to gain percentage of attack while in fighting. You're going to get all these extra buffs that do more physical damage, which is going to scale with your troop type, is going to scale with your equipment, like your artifact, is going to scale with your research, and so on, meaning that the more pay to win you are, the more impact all of these talents have. And to be honest, the marksman tree itself is quite powerful in my opinion, because it really buffs marksman units in a way that is even beyond what she brings. She brings, let's remember, a lot of physical damage, a lot of attack, as well as a lot of counter attack, meaning that all of this will work with that, because there is, you know, more of these normal attack. This is the same as what she buffs. There is quite a few of these, you know, this has increased their attack percentage. This is going to give her more movement speed and slow for enemies. So really no one will be able to get away from her ever. It's going to be quite powerful. This, in my opinion, is very, very strong, because you will deal more of these physical damage when you do normal attacks, which you do a lot of. And as well, this is going to be insane, as you will be casting rage skill, you know, quite regularly. And this will increase the normal attack damage taken by the enemy by 10%. Which again, she buffs, so it's going to be just working out so well together. I think for most players who are going to be investing in her, this tree is going to be a must. With your second points, you know, when you are level 60, you're going to have this tree maxed out, and then you can probably get one of these or one of these, which again, they're all good. But for pay to win players, again, we would probably focus on things like here, because this will be more effective for people who have very high stats, as opposed to this more effective for people who don't have as many stats. But again, I think there's really a hard way to go wrong. And, you know, if you're a high spender, you're going to focus marksman. If you're a low spender, you focus control. And then you're going to go secondary, depending on the situation, who you're maxing her with. So in conclusion, I would really say that, yes, Kinnara is worth getting. It is really one of the strongest wheel hero in the game. The other wheel hero, by the way, is going to be Madeline, which is a tank infantry. Basically, think about Charles Martel or Richard a little bit. She doesn't really have a heal. She has like shielding, so that's why it's kind of like Charles, or you know, a tanky infantry unit. And then the other one will be a cavalry peacekeeping, which again is probably going to be pretty decent as he is a strong hero, but peacekeeping, you know, it kind of like one skill is completely wasted, and she's going to be purely a tank. So as far as any wheel hero goes, it is going to be hard to get something better for PvP damage than Kinnara. Now, other marksman hero in this game, of course, Nico, which is going to be a very, very good secondary for her, or even primary Nico with secondary Kinnara would also work. But the trees here, you know, are a bit different. This, you know, marksman, precision, with her as secondary, she buffs enhancing normal attack. That's exactly what precision tree does. Marksman is the same tree as we just saw. So they would work exceptionally well together, but this is going to be a very pay-to-win combo. For more free-to-play players, again, we have a marksman here and mobility. Now, the mobility tree is very good at being fast. She has a lot of slows and movement speed related effects. She doesn't probably really need the mobility. I would probably go with Kinnara first and then Craig secondary. Craig also brings a lot of damage factor, as well as, you know, hero skill damage bonus, march speed bonus. That works for basically all troop type. Now, this one is more for flying unit, but, you know, still 10% attack will apply to the marksman unit. And then this is going to be pretty wasted, sadly, because it's not going to be, you know, anything to do with marksman. But again, all of this is still pretty powerful. This is obviously making his first skill stronger and creating a lot of physical damage, extra stuff. It's really just going to work quite well. And then the last one that is going to be pretty good is Guanwin, who is also a marksman and precision. Again, she's peacekeeping, so there's a little bit of wastage there, but it's really not that bad. And again, she could be a secondary or primary, depending whoever your highest level is. So it's going to be depending on what you've built and what you like, but Guanwin is going to work very, very well with Kinnara and is a very easy hero to level up and eventually expertise even for free-to-play players. Now, for artifacts, of course, this is going to be a very strong artifact for her, but probably not the strongest because there's some that are a bit better. But, you know, the buff that this gives physical attack is, again, she just has so much physical attack buffs and normal attack damage dealt. This gives to herself and nearby legions, so you don't really need it to be on her. It could be on someone who's beside her with another ranged unit. But this, again, is pretty damn powerful. It gives a lot of defense, which is pretty good for anyone. But otherwise, there's also some pretty decent legendaries for her in attack-wise. So something like Shadow Blades, Marksman Unit Attack, Legion Attack, deals a lot of damage. AoE in front of her, basically, you can see in the icon here, it's going to be a lot of damage. So this would be amazing, of course, on her, but it is obviously a more pay-to-win, harder to get because it's going to be luck-based. But this obviously is amazing for someone like Kinnara. Now, this one as well is going to be pretty damn strong. Similar ability, a lot of damage into area in front of her, gives HP to your units instead. And now in the epic category, this is very decent. It gives defense, boosts your attack by 12%. Not the best one there is out there. I would say probably this one is quite a bit better because it does quite a bit of damage and has a chance to reduce their defense by 15%, which again, she has also as her expertise, and there is something like that also in the PvP tree. So you can really make a target march quite weak. This gives attack, which is a very good stat for her as well. So you have a lot of choice. Kinnara by far is one of the best hero in this game in terms of PvP, chasing, debuffing enemies. You're free to play, bring her as a debuffer, as someone who slows enemies, as someone who silences enemies with the control tree. If you're free to win, you'll want to max her out, get the expertise because this is insane value. But just 5111 also is crazy because just reducing 15% damage dealt reduction to basically whoever she's attacking is huge. You want this to be everywhere on the field. You really need this ability on as many enemies as possible. So whether you're making her insanely strong with a marksman tree and PvP tree, or whether you're making her a very strong debuffer and buffer for your team as a control tree, there is really no way to go wrong with this hero. So she is definitely worth investing in and unlocking, especially if marksman is something you enjoy in this game. Now make sure to check out my other guides on Call of Dragons. I have some very important guides that will teach you how to level up the heroes for free using gathering and many other tips and tricks, as well as major mistakes to avoid and many other guides to come about different events, behemoths, elite behemoths, as well as events like the caravan and all that stuff. So make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to our channel if you're interested in any of this content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.